welcome to today's episode of the Balanced Approach podcast. I'm your host, Louis Padian. I hope that you're doing well and are enjoying the podcast and the topics we've covered so far. These podcasts are released every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, so be sure to subscribe wherever you are listening to be kept up to date. So today, as I mentioned in the previous episode, we will be discussing the art and science of journaling. Now, if I'm completely honest, this is something that I've only come into in the last couple of years, and for me, it's one of those tools in the toolbox that I'll use occasionally. I find that it's a really useful tool for so many reasons, which we'll dig into, and I think it's one of those things that often people feel needs to look this certain way or fit in this box, when actually, as we'll discuss, it can look very different for different people. It's hugely transformative, impactful for so many people that I work with. Some people use it every day, some people use it occasionally, but I think it's definitely something worth trying. And there's a huge amount of science that not only backs up it helping with headspace and managing emotions and things like that, which are all important, but also how that might impact further into our overall health and well-being. So first of all, before we jump in, I think it's important to actually look at what is journaling. And to simply put it, journaling involves expressing our thoughts, feelings, and experiences in written, if you want to type it as well. And the way that I see it, and a lot of the literature suggests it should be done, is that it's a personal and very unstructured space. And this is what I mean, that it doesn't have to look a certain way. And this way, it allows you to explore your inner headspace. It means that you don't have to worry about being judged, and you don't have any set expectations for it, which I feel are often what holds people back from trying it, is that they feel that it needs to be this massive 2 sides of A4 every day. They need to go deep into their feelings and emotions. And actually, when we look at it, and when I sit down with patients and clients, there are no rules, there are no formats, and there are no wrong answers. Just you and your pen and your thoughts, feelings and emotions. And it can just be a couple of words one day. It could be that in-depth, massive review if you want. It could just be a few things that you're grateful for. There's so many different aspects to it, but that's important. That's why it's such a useful tool, because it's so versatile and it's so personable to you. So yeah, that's fantastic, brilliant. That's what journaling is. But why should we journal? And there's a huge amount of scientific research around it in so many different facets, but I picked a few bits here. So a 2016 study found that expressive writing or journaling led to decreased stress, improved mood within their population. And studies suggest that journaling can be a really valuable tool for managing your daily stresses and promoting a sense of calm, which is often something that is common amongst people, feeling stressed and feeling a bit overwhelmed. Literally sitting down with a pen and paper, either in the evening or in the morning, as some of my clients have found that suits them, just writing down how today's gone, what today's going to throw at you, have a quick review, what went well. These are sort of things that can be really useful to help manage that stress and improve your overall mood, which again will have impacts onto your quality of life. It also shows that has been shown to improve sort of emotional processing. So a 2018 study highlights journaling's effectiveness in processing emotional experiences, promoting emotional regulation and resilience. So writing down your emotions can help you understand your feelings, emotions and things that you experience better, but also allows you to gain perspective and develop a healthier coping mechanisms around that as well. Without that point of reflection, without actually putting things down on paper, we might not be able to realize what's actually going on, but also really explore why we might be feeling the way that we're feeling, and from that understand what's potentially led to that, but also have a bit more perspective around it and think about future planning of how we might cope with that situation, all those thoughts, feelings and emotions a bit better in the future, which again is only going to lead us to better performance, better outcomes long term. Following this, improved sleep was another thing. So a 2017 study found that writing your worries before bed led to reduced sleep disturbances and improved sleep quality. So again, this is just before bed. Having a different tool there can help you with just a little brain dump. I often encourage people, if they're struggling with sleep because their head's running wild at night, that actually they can just sit down with a pen and paper and write down those thoughts, feelings and emotions, whatever
is keeping them up at night. Often our brain sort of working overtime because it doesn't want us to forget things, or we're going through things, and actually writing them down could be a lot better way to handle them moving forward. So it can act as a bit of a worry dump and clearing your mind and allowing you to have that restful sleep. So just having a pen and paper there, having a quick 2 minutes before going to bed to write down a few thoughts that might be on your mind can help improve your sleep. This one was really interesting. It's something that we discussed on the last episode as well. So a 2016 study emphasized journaling's role in increasing self-awareness, helping people understand their thoughts, feelings, and motivations. And again, what we're talking about when we were speaking on the past episode around being honest, that self-awareness being really, really key to that, and reflecting on your experiences in writing or typing them up, you can gain really valuable insights into what you value in life, what your goals are, and what you're doing day to day with your habits and behaviors, and checking that all those things are aligned. So having that heightened awareness around your habits and behaviors can only lead to better places when we're looking at, right, where do I want to be in X amount of time? What am I trying to achieve in my life? Are my actions, behaviors, thoughts and feelings all lining up to allow me to achieve that? So all really useful things. So that's all fantastic stuff, and all stuff that we know can improve our overall well-being. There's a few other bits around potentially healthier weights, managing pain, and some other bits as well, which I thought were really interesting. So a 2015 study found that journaling combined with diet and exercise led to greater weight loss than diet and exercise alone in overweight and obese adults. Again, linking into that honesty, that self-awareness, being able to process the day a bit better, having that brain dump. Those are all positive things that if we are in a stressful situation, like trying to lose weight, trying to move a little bit more, trying to improve our health, will help us manage that a little bit better. And this study supports that. So journaling can help identify those potentially unhelpful or unhealthy habits, help you track your progress, monitoring yourself as you go, but also helps you stay motivated on your weight management journey as well by writing down how today has gone and seeing that progress across time as well. And often when I sit down with clients, when they use journaling as a tool, we might sort of look back on past journaling from a couple of months ago, a couple of years ago, and that probably won't be me sitting going through it, because journaling is a very personal thing. I might ask them to do that and see, right, when you started, what sort of things were common, how has that journey changed, how has journaling changed between now and then, and that can be a really helpful tool as well. Next up, improved pain management. So a 2017 review highlights the positive impact of journaling on pain management for individuals with chronic pain conditions. People are in some form of pain from time to time, if not chronic pain. So writing about pain experience can help people actually express their emotions, identify potential triggers while reflecting on the day, and again, develop better coping strategies as well. So it can be a useful tool beyond weight management, beyond better headspace, but also handling things like pain. And last of all, but this one was more of a vague sort of suggestion, and understanding that actually there's more research needed in this, but a 2016 study suggests that expressive writing or journaling potentially may boost immune function and reduce inflammation. Again, very early and very single one-off study around that, but something that could be quite useful, again, in helping people stay better for longer, staying more well, reducing illness, all these things which are beneficial to our overall health and well-being, just by simply writing down and expressing our thoughts. So hopefully that's giving you an insight of potentially the benefits. Now you're on board, but you're thinking, right, Louis, what do I do? And like I said, there's no one size fits all, but I think having a structure often with things, that instead of me just going, yeah, crack on and journal, do it in your way, you might want a bit of structure to start with. So again, a simple thing that I often do for people to try and explore and see if they enjoy it is setting a 2-minute rule, or setting some time aside each day just to sit in front of their piece of paper with a pen with no expectations, just a time limit. And that could be 2 minutes, could be 5 minutes, could be 10 minutes. And try to explore the process. There's no right or wrong way, but just see what you find useful each day. And that can be really useful for people to build some momentum, build up the habit of showing up, which is often the hardest thing. And the best thing that I found is actually if we set a timer for 2 minutes, once people get in the habit of showing up and starting, 2 minutes isn't long enough. So giving yourself that 2 minutes and sitting down in front of a piece of paper, if you don't write anything and the timer goes off after 2 minutes, then at least you tried, and just continually think about turning up. Where to do it? Usually finding a quiet, comfortable space, free from distractions, can be a really useful way. Making it a bit more convenient as well. So potentially it might be in your room, having that little reminder of the pen and paper. And you don't have to, unless you want to, keep it. It could just be writing them down and then putting them away. You might want to bin it straight away. You might want to burn it, which I know some people do. Again, it's about the process. It's not necessarily about on the paper. It's about what it allows you to do whilst doing that practice. People often feel stuck when they're sitting down, sit down in front of it. So like I said, common things are, what am I grateful for today? Maybe list 1 to 3 things, and that's a common one that people might sit down with, and often that I get clients to do. Gratitude is really important, and I think I've done a previous episode on the benefits of gratitude. What were you struggling with today? Again, what have you done well is another common one, and thinking about how you might change your habits and behaviors to have a better outcome tomorrow. So those sort of things can be really interesting to explore, but again, there's so many things that you could write down or questions that you could answer on there. But there's a few key things that I really want to emphasize before we finish off here, is that this is a process. It's not about the outcome. It's not about how many words you get on a piece of paper. There's no judgment here. So being honest and authentic is really important. And don't worry about spelling. Don't worry about how neat it looks. My handwriting is awful. And I get really self-conscious about it, actually, especially when I've got to write in public or anything like that. But again, this is a space for you to be you, unapologetically. So if your handwriting's not great, if you're worried about spelling, nobody's going to read it apart from you. This is just a chance for you to explore what's going on for you on this piece of paper. Don't have any high expectations that you're going to do X amount of words. Again, just let yourself flow, and it's a safe space for your self-expression, which I thought was a really nice phrase. Consistency is key. So again, it's not about writing essays every now and then. Potentially it's just about putting 2 minutes each day aside and building on it from there to write down 3 things you're grateful for, and maybe even typing them up. But usually pen and paper is a better way to journal, and that can help you build that consistency. As we know, often it's being consistently good is going to get you to a better place than being inconsistently perfect. So again, just 2 minutes writing down what went well, writing what you're grateful for. These are a few things that you can just get into the habit of doing each day, and being consistent with those small consistent actions, and then looking at the long-term benefits from that. Next up is exploring different formats. So again, writing down bullet points, writing gratitude lists, creative writing, maybe even writing a bit of a story, maybe even just a mind map on there. Again, figuring out what works best for you and what you feel is going to work best long term, what you're going to fit the time constraints in that moment. All these different things to consider, but it doesn't have to be a written letter. It could just be a few bullet points, could just be words that you think of, and maybe even just drawing mind maps off each of them. Again, completely explore it without judgment, without expectation, and feel that it's a space just for you to be you. Last but not least is celebrate progress. So tracking your journey with it, having a habit tracker with journaling, reflect on how it's impacting your mood. So tracking your mood each day and see if it's having a positive impact, again, around sleep, around your overall health and well-being, your happiness, all these things that you can track. If you're trying to lose weight, it might have an impact on that, meaningful impact on it. So there's lots of different things it can have an impact on. So try to track that, because again, the process itself can be really useful and really fulfilling and really enjoyable. But if you're also seeing it having a positive impact on things that you're already trying to do that are quite difficult, again, it's just going to encourage you even more, improve that motivation with journaling. And hopefully, once you get into it, once you've explored it, then you'll see how much of a useful tool it is. So that is journaling in a nutshell. Hopefully this has been a useful insight and encourage you to try it if you've not tried it, or if you tried it in the past, get back into the habit of it. But thank you very much for listening today, and I shall speak to you soon.
So there you have it. Thank you very much for listening to today's episode of the Balanced Approach podcast. If you have any questions, queries, or would like to reach out to me, please do. I am at Louis Padian Nutrition, which is at LOUISPADIAN Nutrition on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and all other social media platforms. If you're looking for support in achieving your goals and living a healthier, happier, and more balanced life in the process, click the link below and inquire about working with me. Remember to subscribe to the Balanced Approach podcast wherever you're listening for more insightful episodes, and I look forward to speaking to you soon.